Listen up. Your motorcycle is tougher than you think, but it's not bulletproof. Every day I see riders who love their bikes making simple mistakes that slowly destroy them from the inside out. These aren't obvious things like never changing oil or running without coolant. These are sneaky habits that seem harmless but are actually killing your bike 1 mile at a time. The worst part, most of these riders have no idea they're doing anything wrong. Today, we're breaking down the 10 worst things you can do to your motorcycle. These are the habits that separate bikes that run for decades from bikes that die young and expensive. If you're doing any of these things, stop immediately. Because your bike might seem fine now, but these habits are like a slow poison that eventually catches up with you. Number 1. Running low on fuel. Here's something most riders think is just about convenience. Running low on fuel. You figure the worst that happens is you run out of gas and have to walk to a station. Wrong. Running on fumes is slowly killing your fuel system. Your fuel pump isn't just a pump. It's also cooled and lubricated by the gas it sits in. When you consistently ride with the tank near empty, that pump runs hotter, wears faster, and is more likely to fail. And fuel pump replacements aren't cheap. But here's the real problem. The bottom of your tank is where all the junk settles. Sediment, rust flakes, water, microscopic debris. When you're low on fuel, your pump starts sucking up that bottom sludge like a milkshake. Over time, that gunk clogs filters, fouls injectors, and causes weird performance issues you can't trace. Even worse, if your bike sits a lot, ethanol in modern gas attracts moisture that settles at the bottom. So when you finally take it out for a ride with low fuel, you're blasting your engine with the worst cocktail imaginable. Don't wait for the low fuel light. Treat the last quarter tank like an emergency reserve. Top it off regularly, especially on bikes with small tanks, because a toasted fuel pump or a clogged injector costs way more than keeping your tank full. Number 2. Use thick oil additives. Walk into any auto parts store and you'll see bottles of thick oil additives promising to stop leaks, reduce noise, and protect your engine. These things are automotive snake oil, and they'll choke your motorcycle engine to death. These additives are usually made from petroleum jelly, heavy base stocks, or straight-up goo. Yeah, they'll quiet down a ticking noise because the lifters can't move freely anymore. It's like throwing a blanket over a smoke alarm instead of putting out the fire. Modern motorcycle engines have tight tolerances, especially high-rev sport bikes. When you introduce something with the consistency of maple syrup into those tiny oil passages, you risk starving critical components of lubrication. Plus, many of these additives were made with cars in mind and don't play nice with wet clutch systems. I've seen clutches slip like ice rinks after someone added engine honey to their oil. And if you're in cold weather, good luck getting your starter to turn over with molasses running through your engine. If your engine is knocking or burning oil, fix the actual problem. Don't try to smother it with gunk. These additives are a Band-Aid with a sledgehammer attached. Number 3. Over-tightening bolts. If you've ever snapped a bolt off in your frame or crushed a washer like a soda can, you've joined the club of riders who think tight means as tight as humanly possible. Over-tightening is one of the fastest ways to damage your motorcycle. Axle bolts, triple clamp bolts, drain plugs, handlebar risers. The metal's only so strong, and the threads are only meant to hold so much. Crank past the spec, and you're not being thorough. You're destroying things. And here's the catch. It doesn't always fail right away. Sometimes the damage builds up over time. You'll go to do maintenance 6 months later and realize your drain bolt threads are stripped, or your fork bolts cracked your triple clamp. Now you're looking at expensive repairs or a tow truck. Even worse, on high-stress parts like axles or brake calipers. Over-tightening can lead to stress fractures and unpredictable failures. Use a torque wrench, learn torque specs, or at the very least, Understand that a fastener isn't a test of your strength. It's precision hardware. Snug is good. White knuckle tight and pray it doesn't shear is not. Because one bad bolt can turn your ride into a repair nightmare. Number 4, using the wrong coolant. Coolant is coolant, right? Green stuff goes in, engine stays cool, job done. Except that's how you end up with corroded passages, plugged radiators, and mystery overheating issues. Not all coolants are the same. There are big differences between silicate-based, phosphate-free, OAT, HOAT, you name it. And motorcycle engines aren't car engines. They've got different metals, tighter tolerances, and smaller cooling systems. Some coolants are too aggressive for aluminum. Others don't protect against corrosion properly. And mixing the wrong types creates a chemical mess that can plug up your entire coolant system. This isn't just marketing nonsense. If you've got a bike with aluminum components, you need the right inhibitors in that fluid, or you're setting yourself up for internal corrosion. And don't even think about topping off with tap water. Minerals in regular water build up scale and ruin your system over time. Read your manual. Use motorcycle-specific coolant if your bike calls for it. Use distilled water if you're diluting. And flush it every couple of years, not every couple of decades. This is one of those invisible killers. You won't notice the damage until your fan runs constantly and your bike starts pushing coolant at every red light. Number 5, power washing the wrong way. There's nothing like seeing your bike sparkling clean, but if you're using a pressure washer like it's a magic wand, you might be slowly destroying your motorcycle. High-pressure water is great for blasting mud off a dirt bike, but on a street bike, it's a silent killer. Bearings, switches, seals, connectors, none of them were designed to take a jet of water at 2,000 psi. That spray gets forced into places it should never reach, washing out grease, corroding metal, and shorting out electronics. I've seen guys wreck perfectly good bikes in one afternoon with a pressure washer and no clue. Afterwards, they're scratching their heads wondering why the speedo flickers, why the bike won't idle right, and why the headlight only works when it's humid. Spoiler alert, your cleaning job flooded the wiring harness. Even if it doesn't fail immediately, water that gets into wheel bearings or pivot points can displace grease and lead to premature wear. Want to clean your bike properly? Use a hose with gentle pressure. Degrease carefully and avoid spraying directly into switches, chain links, radiator fins, or anywhere you wouldn't pour a glass of water. Clean is good. Destroyed electronics and pitted bearings are not. Number 6, trickle charging your battery all year. Everyone's heard the advice. Hook up a trickle charger for winter storage. And yeah, that's solid advice. But leaving your bike on a constant, unmonitored trickle charge for months is a perfect way to cook your battery from the inside out. Most trickle chargers don't actually turn off. They just keep feeding low voltage constantly. And if your battery's already topped off, that extra current doesn't disappear. It slowly boils the electrolyte, dries out the cells, and reduces battery lifespan. You'll go to start your bike in spring and realize the battery looks fine but won't hold a charge. The smarter move is using a true battery maintainer, one that monitors voltage, cuts off automatically, and only cycles back on when necessary. And if your bike has a lithium battery, trickling is an even worse idea. Those require special chargers, and overcharging them can lead to swelling, damage, or even fire. Don't confuse trickle charging with smart charging. One helps your battery survive the off-season. The other slowly kills it while you think you're doing the right thing. Number 7, ignoring chain alignment. Most riders think adjusting a chain is just about getting the slack right. They'll eyeball it, maybe bounce the suspension a few times, call it good. But if your rear wheel isn't perfectly aligned with the front, you're slowly murdering your chain and sprockets. Misalignment creates uneven wear. One side of the sprocket teeth starts grinding harder than the other. Your chain rollers don't seat cleanly. Over time, you get premature stretch, loud clunking noises, and uneven tooth wear. And it doesn't stop there. Bad alignment can mess with your handling too. It introduces weird tension across the swing arm and can cause the bike to feel twitchy under acceleration. Those little hash marks on your swing arm, they're a joke. If you're relying on them to align your wheel, you might as well be using a sundial to set your timing. You need a proper chain alignment tool, a laser, or at least a solid straight edge method to get it right. Neglecting chain alignment doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you a soon-to-be frustrated rider with a wallet full of receipts for parts you didn't need to replace yet. Number 8, lubing the chain after riding. Here's one most people get backwards. They come back from a ride, park the bike, and right before heading inside, they spray some lube on the chain, thinking they're doing good maintenance. Wrong timing. Chain lube needs time to penetrate and set. It needs a cool chain to work properly, and it needs a few minutes to shed excess before it starts collecting every speck of dirt like a rolling fly trap. When you lube your chain after a ride on a hot chain, you're basically cooking off the solvents before they can do their job. It evaporates too quickly, doesn't get into the rollers, and just ends up flinging lube all over your wheel. The smart move, lube it right before you ride. That way the chain's cool, the lube can soak in, and your next ride distributes it evenly while shedding the excess naturally. Plus, you're way less likely to forget, because if your chain is squeaking as you put your helmet on, that's a pretty good reminder. It's not just about if you lube, it's when you lube, and most people get it wrong. Number 9, ignoring wheel spoke tension. If you ride anything with spoked wheels, adventure bikes, dual sports, scramblers, or retro standards, you need to listen up. Ignoring spoke tension is like playing Jenga with your rims. Most riders think of spokes as a set-it-and-forget-it part of the bike, but over time they loosen, hit enough potholes, land a few jumps, or just ride with luggage, and those uneven loads start shifting everything. Before you know it, your wheel is out of true, your tire wears unevenly, and worst case, you crack a rim or break a spoke entirely. The fix is easy, but most people never do it. Check spoke tension regularly, especially on bikes that see rough roads. A cheap spoke wrench in 5 minutes can save you $1,000 wheel repair. Even plucking them like guitar strings helps. Tight spokes ping, loose ones thunk. If one spoke's super loose, chances are others are too. And if a spoke snaps while you're leaned into a corner at speed, that's not something you walk away from grinning. Don't wait for the wobble. Check your spokes before they check you. Number 10, mixing old brake pads with new ones. Here's one you almost never hear about, but it can quietly ruin your braking performance and eat through components faster than you think. Some riders try to save money by mixing new pads with old ones, especially if they're just doing one caliper. Brake pads wear as a set for a reason. They bed into the rotor together, develop a matched surface profile, and transfer material that's consistent across both sides. Toss a brand new pad next to a half-used one, and you've guaranteed uneven pressure, unpredictable bite, and uneven heat buildup. That rotor's going to wear weird, your brake feel's going to be off, and worst case, you get pulsing or grabbing. Even mixing 2 new pads from different brands can cause issues. Brakes are one of the most critical systems on your bike. Don't Frankenstein your setup like you're trying to finish a school project with leftovers. Replace pads as a matched set. Always clean the rotors when you install new pads. And bed them in properly. It's not just about saving your rotors. It's about not ending up in the back of a minivan because your brakes decided to get creative. There you have it. 10 ways riders accidentally kill their own motorcycles. These aren't dramatic failures that happen overnight. They're slow, silent killers that chip away at your bike's health until something expensive breaks. The crazy part? Every one of these is completely preventable. You don't need special tools or advanced mechanical knowledge. You just need to stop doing the things that hurt your bike and start doing the things that help it. Your motorcycle is tougher than you think, but it's not indestructible. Treat it right, and it'll run for decades. Treat it wrong, and you'll be shopping for a new bike sooner than you planned. Which of these hit home for you? Have you been accidentally killing your bike without knowing it? Drop a comment below and let me know which habit you're going to change first. If this video saved you from expensive repairs, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-world motorcycle wisdom. Because the best maintenance is the kind that prevents problems instead of fixing them. Take care of your bike, and it'll take care of you. Ignore these warnings, and you'll learn why mechanics drive nice cars